Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Spider, and welcome back to another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Animated Voyager class Blitzwing. Now, I usually start off reviews by taking a look at the packaging, which I don't have, but I do have the instructions, so we'll take a quick look at that. Blitzwing out of the way. Unfurl these. And we'll take a little look at these. Alright, so we have Blitzwing's 3 modes, Transformers Animated, all the steps that you need to take in order to transform the figure, some other stuff you need to know about the figure, Cartoon Network logo, the back of it is blank, and that is pretty much it for the instructions. Alrighty, onto the figure. So here we have Blitzwing, which released back in 2008, and is based on his appearance from Transformers Animated. So we'll get up close here and then take a look at the details. So we got some nice purple up here in the front with a little bit of red. Looks quite nice. You got these big old chunky treads. I really like how these look. It's the same on the other side. It looks quite nice. You got the back of the tank, which doesn't look too bad. You got the bottom of the tank, which also doesn't look too bad. And you got the top of the tank. Yeah, it's quite nice. And the turret does rotate all the way around, and if you listen, it is on a ratchet, I think. Sounds like it is. It can't look up or down, but I don't care. As long as it can look side to side, that's what I really want. So, yeah, I really dig it. I really like the tank. There isn't too many bits that are poking out that shouldn't be, and even when they are, it doesn't really look too bad. Yeah. The only issue I have is that, one, these bits don't always like to line up, but that's kind of just my copy. And also, the treads aren't, like, they don't plug into place super securely, so they are a bit wobbly, which is unfortunate, but it's not too bad. And if you get everything lined up, he rolls! And that's nice. I like things that roll. So overall, tank is pretty cool. And probably my favorite of his 2 alt modes, because it's just neat. It just looks neat. Now, he also does come with a couple of missiles. So I'm going to take a quick look at those. So they're translucent orange. And you got some little bits here up at the front, which I guess is supposed to simulate fire, maybe? I don't know. There are also some, whoops, I dropped it, some nice and chunky missiles. I like that, because it's less likely I'm going to lose them. And you can, of course, plug them into the tank. And if you press these 2 buttons up top here, it fires. So yeah, it's got a spring-loaded firing mechanism. You know what that means? It's time to take it to the firing range. Alright, so here we have a whole slew of targets, and we're going to shoot at them and see if the missile is strong enough to knock them down. First up, we got a Lego minifigure. Takes that down pretty solidly. Next up, we got a little minion thingy. Alright, hit it a little too low, so it didn't really knock over. Let's try that again. Oh, you can't see now. Crying out loud. Okay, retrieve the missiles and move the target a little closer so I can hit it better. There we go. And next up, I bumped the camera, and then we got an empty Altoids can. Knocks them over pretty nicely. And finally, here we have it with a McDonald's Bionicle figure. See if it knocks it up. I can't speak. See if it knocks that over. Alright, so it took 2 missiles, but yeah, it knocks them over. And that concludes this segment of the firing range. So, yeah, the spring firing gimmick works quite well on this. The missiles are pretty cool. The only real issue I have with them, and it's just a minor nitpick, is that I wish it came with an orange and a blue one to represent the fire and ice beams that Blitzwing had in the show, because we just have 2 fire ones here. Other than that, it's fun. I like it. Always up for a good spring fire missile gimmick. So that's pretty much it for the tank mode. We shall move on to the size comparisons. So first up, as always, here we have it with a Lego minifigure. The Packet Destruction minifigure Mothra. The Packet Destruction minifigure Godzilla. And on some more relevant size comparisons. Here it is with the 2010 Generations War of Cybertron Megatron, who is still missing his cannon. I'll get it next time, I swear. Promise. Here it is with animated Cybertron mode Ratchet. And here it is with all the other animated Decepticons I have reviewed thus far. And I'm going to have to scoot things over to get them all in frame. Oy. Okay, that doesn't really work. So you can kind of see how that all works out. We'll get those guys out of there. Bump the camera once again. Oy. Now, it's measuring time. Tank, a little over 3 inches tall, and is about 4.5 inches long. See, it's quite a compact tank, especially when you see the robot mode. It really kind of shrinks down. But now we're done with that, it is on to the jet mode. So, first things first is we want to rotate these cannons so they just move like that. And I like to rotate them like so. Just rotate and just flip them. And do be careful, these can pop off, but they just go back on quite easily. So I'm going to do that, then come up here, fold these up, and then fold these bits up, and then bring them out like so. Then you want to come to the bottom here. I should bring up the camera a little bit here. Yeah, let's bring up the camera a little bit. There we go. Open these bits up and fold out the foot on both sides. The foot doesn't always like to come out. It's kind of tight in there. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. It's strange. The foot joints are very tight, but the leg itself is kind of loose. How does that make sense? Alrighty. Next step, what you want to do is just disconnect the turret from the top here. Well, hang on. You gotta make sure these things are up, so you gotta get them past the hands. Alrighty. Next, what you want to do is a couple of pegs there. You get some peg-shaped holes on the foot. So what you want to do is just bring it down and just plug it in. So, I said, there we go. And that should keep that all in place. What you want to do is bring these out, fold that up, and there, we're mostly done. All we gotta do now is just come down here, flip it all around, bring out the nose cone. That just goes in like that, and then flip out the rest of it. And I think that is it. Yeah, I think we're done. And here we have the jet mode, which is probably my lesser favorite of the two alt modes. I mean, it's not terrible, but it does look a little comparison to the tank. Ooh. Come up front here and take a look at it. You got a nice shiny black cockpit with a gold Decepticon symbol. You got some purple bits here. You got the nice purple wings, which if you want, you can bring them closer in. I like them more splayed out. You get these red bits up at the front and on the back, which is accurate to the cartoon. I think there's some kind of lights. I'm not entirely sure what they are or what they do, but hey, points for accuracy. You also got some fins back here, which, actually, looking at the cartoon model, these side fins aren't there. Yeah, it's just the top fins and the wings, and then that's it. So you get extra fins on the toy. That's cool. And then you have the turret, which is kind of come unpegged. There we go. You have the turret, which has now become the thrusters of the jet. And I like that. I think that's a neat little bit of transformation. It's not accurate, but it's just cool. So I like it. You got the bottom of the jet, which, whoops, that bit just popped off. So be careful, these can pop off too. You got the bottom of the jet, which is a little gappy, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the jet mode. Like I said, not bad. It's decent. It gets the job done. But it does look a little iffy when doing it. Especially this bit where it's kind of just a big old gap there. You can untab the turret and bring it closer up so things look a little more uniform, but now everything is just floppy, so I don't recommend you do that unless you really hate that gap in the middle. I suggest you tab it in like it's supposed to be. Alright. Dang it. These bits don't like to stay up. So that's pretty much it for the jet. And we'll do a quick little size comparison. We'll just bring in Lugnut, because he's his buddy. So you can see how they compare side by side. And bring in measuring tape. Get a little bit of an idea how long this is. You can't see that. So it's about 8 inches long, so not a bad jet mode. Oh, forgot to do the wingspan. I am forgetting things today. Hang on, let's make sure the wings are all spread out, and it's a little over 6 inches for the wingspan. So yeah, jet mode. Not too bad. Not too bad. And now is on to the second transformation, where we get him into robot mode. So, what you want to do for that is just fold this back up and then fold this down, but make sure that this bit comes down with it, like that. Untab the turret back there. Take these and just bring them down like that, and over here I want to show off. There's supposed to be a tab that's supposed to plug in right there, but it doesn't really work. It's supposed to keep the treads more secure, but it just doesn't work very well. Anyways, so flip out the foot, flip out the heel, and do the same thing on the other side. Flippity flip, yeah, and flippity flip. And now we have the legs all done. Just raise up the camera a little bit. Alright, so we want to come back here. We've got his head saying peekaboo. I come back here and just separate that. You want to separate the wings and the arms, which all plug together. What you want to do is just fold them out like that. Extend the arms, and this just folds to the back. Extend, fold, and there you have the arms all done. And now, excuse me, we'll come back here, fold up these bits, fold them down like so, and bring this all up in this little thing that'll slot right into there. And that keeps that all secure. And then you just want to rotate the turrets back into position. Then, actually, hang on. I forgot. You want to keep it untabbed when you rotate it, because otherwise it kind of gets caught. So rotate it first, then plug it in. And then just make sure those are folded down. And then you just rotate the head around, and you're done. You have Blitzwing in his robot mode. So, first things first, we're going to take a look at the articulation. So the head can rotate all the way, wow, can't speak. Can rotate all the way around. Can't really look up unless you use the transformation joint. Then it can look really far up, but it looks kind of weird. Can't really look down at all. The arms can rotate all the way around, but the stuff on the arm kind of gets in the way a little bit. Can go that far out. Has a bicep rotation, a nice double jointed elbow, and the hand can bend. And that is pretty much it for the arms. Nothing at the waist. The legs are also kind of on a ratchet, if you can hear that. And they can kick quite a ways up, but unfortunately can't really kick back that far, and it's because of the way that the legs and the crotch piece is molded. It just kind of gets in the way of itself, so that is annoying and unfortunate. You can go that far out, also kind of on a ratchet. You have a thigh swivel, which is very, very loose on my copy. You get a nice bend at the knee, and the foot can go down and up if you so wish. Get your arm down. So yeah, articulation, not too bad. For a figure of its time, it's not too bad. There are some things that are kind of unfortunate about it, but it's not terrible. One thing that is kind of, well, not terrible, but not great, is these bits on the back of the arms. I get it, it is accurate to the cartoon, although they are supposed to be more splayed out like that, but I just leave them folded down like that. It just kind of gets annoying when you try and rotate the arm, and just this whole thing comes with it. Wish they engineered that a little bit differently. Also, because it's got a hinge here, you think like, oh, you can just fold the wing all the way up, right? So it gets less in the way, right? No, it doesn't really work that way. I mean, I guess you kind of can, but it's, I don't know. Doesn't look great. So, yeah. Now, on to the details. So, come at the face here. You got this nice neutral face, this big old monocle. Yeah, let me raise up the camera just a little bit and get better in there. Yeah, got quite a nice face sculpt. But that's just one of them, because yes, they did include all three of his alternate faces. You got this little thing at the back here, which is supposed to rotate it, and it swaps the face, and yeah, it doesn't work. You can kind of try and grip it with your nail, but that doesn't always work either. So the best method is just move it manually with your thumb. So next up, we got the angry face. This also looks quite nice. And then we have the crazy random face. And honestly, they did a very nice job with all three faces. They all look a lot like they did in the cartoon. So at the front here, we got the nose cone, which is now part of the chest. That gold Decepticon symbol. Even though it was purple in the show. I'm kind of wondering, why do they keep doing that? The last few animated figures I reviewed, they all have gold Decepticon symbols, even though it's purple in the show. I don't know why they keep changing it like that. It's very, very odd. They have these bits up on the shoulder. You get the hand, which is nicely molded. You get the little pouches on the side, which I didn't even realize that, but yeah, he's got pouches in the cartoon. I did not notice that. He has kind of stubby thighs and his big old tread shins and calves. Just a bit gappy in the back, but I don't care. Yeah, and then you got his back, which, once again, very nice, clean, animated back. Man, Animated really know how to engineer the back of their Transformer figures. So, yeah. Overall, Blitzwing is quite nice. I do quite enjoy him. It's just a shame that, unfortunately, his cannons cannot go over his shoulders. Like, at all. I mean, you kind of can get it a little bit, like, that's it. That's all you can get. Unfortunately, it's just, this strut is not long enough to get it actually over his shoulders, which that's a crying shame. I really wish they would have made it so it could go over, but it can't. But of Legacy, or Age of Primes, or whatever the newest Transformers line is called, if they ever get around to making another Blitzwing, maybe they can make it so it works that way. But until then, it does not work on this figure. But despite that, it is quite nice. It's a pretty solid figure. The only real issue is that his hands can't really hold anything, and his thighs are ridiculously loose. But that's more just my copy than anything. So, now that we're done with the robot, it is time once again for another size comparison. Alrighty, so once more to start the size comparisons, here it is with the Lego minifigure, the Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra, the Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla. Now on to the more relevant size comparisons. Here it is with the Generations Megatron, the Deluxe Cybertron Ratchet. That looks about right, I think. Actually forgot to check. It is with the Deluxe Animated Lockdown. Yeah, I know Blitzwing and Lockdown never really stood side by side with each other, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't that tall. I don't know why they made that figure so big. It is with Deluxe Black Arachnia. Once again, I think that lines up. And we have him with his buddy, Animated Lugnut. And the fact that these are both Voyagers is kind of ridiculous. Like, come on now. How do you mess that up? Like, their heights should be reversed. Because, like, in the show, Lugnut was like a full head taller than Blitzwing, and now he, like, comes up to his elbow. Still look nice to each other, though. Nice next to each other. That's what I meant to say. Now, measuring time once again. We have him. He's basically about 7.5 inches. So, yeah, this is back when Voyagers were nice and beefy. You know, big old Voyager Blitzwing. So yeah, overall, the figure is quite nice. I do like him. There's some minor nitpicks I have with him, but overall, it is a cool toy, and it's pretty fun. Now, if you want one for yourself, bad news. This figure is really, really expensive on the aftermarket. On eBay, it's going for around like $100. And that's out of the box. If you want one brand new in the box, just forget about it. It's not worth it. So yeah, this figure is way, way overpriced on eBay and things like that. So, Yeah, it sucks, but well, what can you do? So yeah, if you can find him for less than $100, then yeah, I say get him. He's pretty fun. But anything more than that, nah, don't do it. Just get something else. It ain't worth it. It's not worth that much. Anyways, that's been it for my review of Voyager Animated Blitzwing. Hope you all enjoyed. See you later. Sayonara. Bye.